Hi, I'm Jenny Nellis. Welcome to the PRCA. We're having a reception tonight for Hannah Spry, and I am acting as the sort of MC. First, we'd like to make sure that you keep your microphones muted until we're ready for questions. So Hannah is a practicing artist. She recently graduated in 2019 from UMM with her bachelor's degree in studio art and art history. She lives now in Detroit Lakes. Her focus in studio art was on screen printing and fiber arts. She was a gallery intern for the Morrison Gallery and also a gallery intern in Cardaverde in Florence, Italy, while she studied abroad. She's, as I said, currently residing in Detroit Lakes, where she is working as a full-time production artist for Blue 84 Lake Shirts. And so I'm going to open the talk with Hannah, telling you something about her process and her symbolism. So Hannah, if you'd like to start.
Hi. My process really has a lot to do with introspection, so the examining of my own mental and emotional processes when dealing with certain experiences. So each print is about a different life experience, emotion, memory. I first take that experience, I reflect, I plan out a print, and I just kind of go from there. I have kind of a unified color scheme that I went with for this series. And I picked Introspection and Pomegranates for my show title because, again, it has a lot to do with just examining my own emotions about each of these themes, and then hopefully with the intent of connecting with the viewer and having them maybe have their own introspection experience when they see it. Pomegranates, because I love pomegranates, but also their form, they're beautiful, they have so many contrasting elements, like the seeds inside with like the really hard shell. They have a lot of established, but maybe sometimes contrasting art history uses and meanings, like fertility, strength, beauty, sometimes even death. And they really allow me to portray my theme in different ways with just how they look and their meaning. I got into this kind of way of making my art because I am a pretty emotionally driven and empathetic person, so it was really important to me to start making art that connected with other people through my own personal experiences, which is not something I ever really did before pretty late in my college career. I more made art for what I thought I should be making or what other people would like. And then finally I gave myself permission to make pretty personal art that would connect with it for the intention of connecting with another person. I don't really find it super necessary that the viewer finds the exact same meaning as long as they're getting some kind of emotional reaction. Maybe not even emotional, just a reaction, a feeling, a thought, maybe even a memory is just really important to me. That's all I really want to get out of making art. I can go through a few of them, so I'll start with this one. This one is actually not really a part of this series. It was the first pomegranate print I ever made, maybe a semester before the rest of them. But I included it in the show because it's really where it all started. It's where I started doing these geometric elements on like mixed with organic forms and textures, which is something that really intrigued me, mixing of the two. It's where I started this corn. I rolled corn in ink to get this corn kernel pattern that I use in a lot of my prints, just to add some more texture and something to look at when you get a little closer. And yeah, just included it just because it was really what started it all. Then we'll go, what?
Hannah, do you want to tell us a little bit more about your process of screen printing?
Oh, yeah. So screen printing, each color is a different layer that I put onto my, so I use photo emulsion to kind of shoot my drawing or different elements into my screen, and then I put it on a piece of paper and I put ink down and I just, so I put each layer on a piece of paper, layering on top of each other. And you can do multiple editions. But I mostly get each layer first and then put them all together and make each individual layer, either by hand drawing or digitally. And then I put it into a physical print, if that answers that. Thank you. And I can keep talking about some other more key pieces in this series. So I'll start with this one. So I'll just tell you what a little bit is about. This is called Weight of Gravity. It's about just feeling weighed down and overwhelmed. It shows an upside down pomegranate with seeds falling out. It is supposed to show kind of the feeling of being overwhelmed, but then also the relief of letting go with the seeds kind of falling. And as they fall, they turn into their pretty pomegranate seed color, whereas before they're just too jumbled and not colored to just kind of mute that section and then let them fall and be free. But I did put blemishes, as you'll see on other prints, to kind of show that even though you can let things go, it still can leave behind some things. And that was really important to me to show, just a feeling of being weighed down, but then letting things go. So important. I'll go to this one. It shows pomegranate seeds. As you're closer, it shows them more kind of jewel-like, kind of, they're really emphasizing their beautiful structure and how they just kind of look like gemstones, like rubies or something. And then as they get farther away, they just kind of turn into the shape that I've put in my other prints to kind of show that you can be transfixed by something, but you step away and it kind of, you kind of just realize it's like anything else, really. So that's that one. This color palette, I did all just the same color palette. And then the stuff in the back is like a lot smaller than my usual work. Again, I just wanted to emphasize the seeds and make them really stand out. Then we'll go to Death Comes in Three, the poppies. Very close in time. I think I went to 3 funerals in one weekend and came back to school just not really wanting to work on anything, just was really having a hard time letting it go. And so I started just to give myself some relief. allows you to really just reflect and really understand what you're doing and putting down on the paper. I did 3. Some crazy thing that happened. Maybe it's just time. And this one will end this because this is the last one in the show. And this one I made because it's smaller than the others, but I made it as kind of a tribute to the first one we saw, the pomegranate one that kind of started it all, because it has those kind of simple geometric shapes and then the organic forms on top. But they're also breaking outside of this boundary box, just to kind of show how far I've come with this idea and my style and just the overall like theme of my thing. It really shows like introspection, I think, just to examine how the change and stuff. So that's the last one.
How many screens did you have in this one?
I actually don't know. I have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna say 8.
So there are 8 different layers.
Yep.
Representing different colors.
Yes. Yep. So I had to lay down the geometric line work behind. Then I laid down this big box, and then I put the rest on top. Black is usually my last layer to really get things on nice, and it's usually my line, and I really love line. It's usually my really nice line layer. So yeah.
Our participants can unmute their microphones, and if you have any questions for Hannah, that would be great.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
It's Julia.
I thought so.
You can't see me, but I'm here. I was just curious, and I'm so glad you guys are doing this because I wasn't able to go to the show before things closed down, and actually haven't been there since things reopened either, just due to busyness. But I was just wondering if you're, if you still have time to work as an artist on your own. You know, I know you're doing it professionally, but are you still able to make your own art? And if so, either now or in the future, do you think you'll do more pomegranate imagery?
I think so for sure, to the second pomegranate imagery. I don't know how. I think I can probably figure out how to go a lot further with it. I haven't done any since school. I haven't done any screen printing actually, because I just don't have the means to do it at my apartment. I've been working on my fiber work though that I don't have. Nothing ready available to see, to show, but
maybe next year.
Yeah.
Next year you could do a fiber show. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love to. That'd be really nice. But other than that, I've been trying to find the time, but work has been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah.
Hi, Hannah. This is Liz Morrison. It's nice to meet you. And enjoyed hearing about your process and your thoughts about making art. And I was just wondering if you drew at all on the Greek myths of involving the pomegranate seeds and Persephone and all that, and maybe you could point to some ways that you incorporated that kind of mythology in any of the prints?
You know, that is something that always intrigued me, actually, and I love that relationship to the pomegranate with Persephone. Always. I actually did it in this series. It's been portrayed before with Persephone, which I researched a lot for my art history paper, my senior thesis. So that, I guess I could say, is why I allowed myself to do this, just because of its already meaning that's been used in art history before. But otherwise, other than that, not really directly. But yeah, I would say that's why I did it like this.
So Hannah, I would
Thanks.
love to come over and talk to us about this one.
This one is me as a child. I didn't put faces on it because I, again, want people to just see a young person, maybe see themselves in her. This one is about, I titled it Don't Ever Change. It's actually something my dad said to me after he passed, not after he passed away, my grandma told me this after my dad passed away, a story of my dad telling me, don't ever change, because he just loved how loving and carefree and happy I was as a kid. And I made this print as a reminder to myself that there's always something that I can go back to and remember who I was at a different point in my life, a little girl who started it all, just being happy and really loving and lovable, and someone that her dad and family was really proud of. And it's a nice reminder. And I did the seeds in each of them just to show that's where it started. And it's something that anyone can look back on and remember that's where it started. That's where it began. That is why I am what I am today. That is.
Thank you.
Any others? I don't know if you wanted to show
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hannah, I'm wondering about your color palette and how you chose the different colors that you did. Are they just colors you love, or they have certain meanings?
Yeah, I definitely love them. I love to use tertiary, can't say it, colors. I love the like triadic, what is it, like, I don't want to say burgundy, mustard, teal, which you'll see in a lot of them. But I also use color sometimes to relay the feeling of a print. This one is very vibrant because it's supposed to really, it's called Chaos Indulged, and it's supposed to really just be kind of in your face, bright, kind of agitated, which is why I did it. This is probably the brightest one. This one I also did a little brighter just to show strength and beauty. It's called Beautiful Vessel. The pattern in the background is stretch marks, and it's just supposed to show that it's okay to love these things and be proud of them. And that is a little brighter than the other ones. This one is very memory, I think, which is why I did the different blues. It's kind of gradual. It just reminds me of like a memory. These ones not so much. They're just colors I liked for this one. This one over here reminded me just of warmth, and they make me feel comfortable, and it's about home and growing up. Reminds me of my mom, which is why I made the print in the first place. That's why I did those colors. And then I'll lastly talk about, this one is really muted because of the death theme and the decay. So that's definitely the most muted. Otherwise, I just really like these colors. I like that triad of colors. They're my favorite to use.
Awesome, thank you. So also I'm wondering like what you do for play. Like how do you do your process of playing, like experimenting?
The grind pattern is definitely something I play with. I don't plan it out. It goes wherever it goes. I just start with one line and it just builds. And I think that's definitely how I like to play the most. Otherwise, creating this corn pattern was definitely an experiment that I ended up using in a lot of them and I loved. So that's another way I kind of experiment with things. I use the corn, I use the corn husk for one of them. Things like texture, for sure. Texture and line, I would say I love to experiment and play with. Yeah. And color, which is how I got this set of colors that I liked. Experimentation, for sure.
Anna, you mentioned that you're working on some fiber arts, and as a fiber artist myself, I get really excited to hear that. Do you continue with the pomegranates theme in the fiber arts, or are you working on different types of themes?
I don't actually. My fiber art is completely different. It's all landscapes from places that I provoked a really emotional reaction from me. So it's not linear, it's not pomegranate, it's not really organic. It's just they're in the shape of Polaroids, the ones I've done so far. So they're like travel photos. So nothing like that. Yeah. Thank you. Any?
Yeah, let's check online to see if there are any questions there.
Okay, it's me again, Hannah.
Hi.
Asking how do you like being a production artist?
I'm sorry, what?
How do you like being a production artist?
It's different than what I'm used to. I've loved it so far.
Oh, good.
It's a lot of really taking things that are already made though and putting them together. So it's not as creative as I would like. But I can work up to that someday.
Good.
I can work up to being a line artist, which is someone who actually
Yay.
creates the thing together. So yeah, I liked it. Thank you for that question. I do like it.
That's great.
It's been good.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask something. I came in late here. I was on phone with my daughter and her husband, and that's still going on. So I'll probably just look in and leave in a little bit. But I'm just curious about how you're doing this presentation and what your work is like. I saw it on Facebook, and I thought it was really interesting that you're taking a step in this direction. And
Thank
I'd
you.
like I don't know if you showed your work close up before I came in. I was about 15 minutes late, but I think I'll stop in and visit the gallery when I come to Morris. And, thank you for doing this.
Who's closing?
Oh, we are actually, today was the last day of the exhibition, so it will be closed today, yeah, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
we can,
Zoom in on all
yeah, we can do
right?
a little walkthrough again of some of the pieces if you would like. I know you're not the only person that unfortunately missed it this time around, so I can just kind of do a little walkthrough. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and Hannah can answer them graciously.
sure. Yeah.
We've never done a format like this, a virtual reception before, so this is our first attempt at doing a reception where we can't have anybody in the gallery except those of us who are here holding the iPad and asking the questions and watching the computer.
Yeah, that's Jenny, right?
Yep, that's right.
Well, you know, I'm going to have a show coming up in Marshall at the Smock Gallery, and it'll be done this way, I think, in November. And so I'm beginning to pay a little bit more attention to what you guys are learning, and I appreciate the opportunity to look in on this and learn from you. So I think your descriptions and answers to the questions are really interesting. So I don't know what the most important point that you made in your talking points when you opened up, but I understand what your theme is and what your subject matter is. And I get a bit of the idea that where your personal involvement is with family and self and landscape. So will you have another show that you're planning for? You're muted now.
Oh.
Yeah.
That should be okay.
Can you hear me? I don't have another show. Right now I'm hoping for a different show with new work soonish. Nothing's quite ready to show yet, but definitely in the future, in the hopefully near future, I would like to have another show. And just to kind of reiterate, since you came in a little late, my most important thing I think I said was that my work is about introspection and really examining my own emotional processes with the intent of making a piece of art that can connect with the viewer and maybe even kind of spark their own introspection for even a moment is probably.
Where are you doing your work? I missed your bio, so I don't know where you're coming from or where you're headed.
I'm living in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota right now, but I went to the UMM here, and that's where all this was made last year.
You finished your BA or BFA? Is
Yep.
that right? Okay.
Yep, I was a studio art history double major. So I finished last year in 2019 was my last semester.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any last questions for Hannah, or want to revisit any of the pieces that we've talked about or didn't talk about, or you caught in a glimpse and just wanted to see it again?
Going on this one a little closer, please.
Sure.
I can kind of talk about it while you look at it. This one is called Beautiful Vessel, stretch marks or otherwise. So the background pattern is actually very highlighted stretch mark shapes, and it's just about being able to be proud of things that are usually deemed flaws, and contrasting them with the pomegranate as this really beautiful thing that's regarded as usually strong, I don't want to say fertile, but I don't know, but strong and just beautiful. Yeah, and they have blemishes too. And
Mike, that one really got to me. I think that I just want to compliment you. Metaphorical. So yeah.
Thank you. That one kind of started it all. It was my first pomegranate print ever. It's not really a part of this series, but I included it because it was my first one, and it really set the stage for my style, my textures. It's when I started overlaying geometric forms with more organic, or geometric shape with more organic forms and texture. So I included it because it just started everything. And the color palette for sure is what everything else stemmed from, I'd say.
So where do you tie in on, you know, a feminism approach to things? It seems like that's a running topic through your work, is it?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think as a female artist, and everything is about some kind of emotional experience that I had, it does, you could say, have a lot of themes of feminism, just being proud of yourself, letting things go, stepping forward. I'd say so, yeah. I don't think that was really my intention. It was just me as a female artist doing things that are from my own life experience. So that really played a role.
Well, one more question.
Yeah.
When you become aware, you know, that there's something going on that you didn't start out with, how do you think things emerge, you know, as you're working for you?
Like how I maybe start a piece.
Something, and then, you know, something starts to grow on you and you have a new realization, or...
Yeah, I would say definitely emotionally driven, not driven, a deeply emotional experience, something that brought something out of me that I decided one day to share with others and hopefully find connection with other people, and with the intention of people seeing my art and getting something out of it, was really important to me, just as a pretty emotionally driven and empathetic person. I'd say that's really where it stems from, is just an experience that I wanted to share with others. And I think I decided one day that I wasn't alone, and that these shared experiences were something that were worthy of finding connection in. And yeah, I hope that answered.
No, I really like the way you're communicating, you know, visually, otherwise. So
Thank you.
I'm glad you could do this, you know.
Thank you, me too.
Not the easiest thing in the world, is it?
No, it's my first one ever, actually, and it's online.
Well, thanks for making this step. I'm gonna go say bye to my daughter and her husband, and I'm glad I checked in with you guys. And hi, Jenny. It's good to see you.
Hi, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch Facebook for some more of your stuff now that you got it going here.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions?
What?
Have any other questions before we sign off? Sorry, my mask is kind of muffling me.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions from our other participants before we sign off? I want to thank everyone for joining us, and I hope you'll watch for our next virtual reception. And Hannah, thank you very much for sharing with us.
Well, thank you for having me in my work here, and thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, Hannah. It was very interesting.
Thank you.